My biggest fear would be when the first comes and I don't get the rent.
I found that my tenant had dumped concrete down my toilet. Can you believe Fair Housing fined me $5,000 for that?
How do you onboard your tenants? What do you do?
I don't even know if I do it right.
If you're a landlord, don't just rent, rent perfect. The Rent Perfect podcast with property expert and private investigator, David Pickron.
Back to another episode, Scotty. Here we are again
man.
at the Rent Perfect podcast. Hey, this weekend started the NFL season for 2021.
I believe you said it was a national holiday, or should
It's
be
a
declared as
national
such.
holiday. You know, we play a big fantasy football around
Yeah.
the office, and
I am the defending champ, so I'm aware.
But you know,
Yeah.
that's so true. With the big trophy on
That's
your
right.
desk,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm rolling around the channels last night, and what is the movie where the guy says, "Show me the money"?
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
That's Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, Jerry Maguire. Yep.
And it's Arizona Cardinals are in
Yep,
there.
yep.
Right? We're from Arizona, as most of you know. And I thought, man, how appropriate of today's podcast, because today we are going to talk about show me the money.
Nice.
Okay? So oftentimes we're always talking about finding that right tenant, that $120,000 tenant. You know, we kind of just really say that a lot, and people are
Right.
like, okay, Dave, yeah, we know. But it's
get
so
it.
important,
Yeah.
right? Okay, but today we're going to talk about you found him, you moved him in, he's great. And really, other than a few phone calls, maybe things happen around the house, maintenance, you're now just having a payment relationship with them, right?
Right.
And so now once a month, I'm expecting to get my rent paid, right? And that is the reason why I'm in this business.
Exactly.
Right? If
Yeah.
this doesn't happen, there's no reason to do
Right.
anything else, right? So I want to talk a little bit about, because I've come a long way here on accepting rent. I used to have this philosophy when I was a younger investor that any way I can get the money, just get it, right?
Right.
If I got to come to your house to get it, I'll get it. If you're going to drop it off at my house or my office, if you're going to put it right into my bank account, just get
Yeah.
the
Just make
money.
sure it's there.
But I've matured a little bit, right? And got a little busier and just realized why am I not in total control of this payment system, right?
It is my asset after all.
You know, and
Right.
Exactly. And so, you know, I told all of my tenants that we're going to a new payment system, and it is not optional. That I was just doing things so many different ways for years. And so, like I said, I would get rent usually on the 1st or the 15th. So on the 1st, in my head, I'd have to be going, okay, those 4 properties pay me on the 1st. Okay, that one comes to the office. Okay, did that one drop it off in the mailbox? Did they send me a text picture of the receipt from the bank? I gave them my bank account number,
Yeah,
which I'm not
right.
super comfortable with, right? But I was going through this just issue in my head every month of remembering, 14 different properties and how they pay me. And so
And when they pay you.
and when and
if they
when
pay
it was
you.
due.
Yeah. Right.
And then I'd get a check, say it was due on the 1st and it would be on the 5th. Well, in our lease, there's a $50 late fee on the 5th. And I would get this check, or I'd get it deposited into my bank on the 5th with no $50 fee. And I'd say, okay, this puts me in a position now where I have to return the money if I want the $50. I have to go chase the $50. And I would spend $50 of my time to get the $50. So what would I do?
You just take the check and be like,
I'd just be like,
glad I
okay,
got it, yeah.
I got the check, but I didn't get my late fees. But then I set, a habit saying, okay, now I can pay my landlord on the 5th and not get the late fee that the lease says.
yeah. And then I can probably do it on the 6th because he seems like a pretty forgiving guy.
Absolutely.
And maybe the 7th. Now it's the 10th. And
Exactly. And so
Yeah.
you can lose control of your payments when you don't have a complete handle on it. And I'm here to tell you, for years and years and years, I did not have a handle on it. So if you're a new landlord, get a handle on how you get, your rent. And we are now encouraging people. We've been in beta on our new rent system for a year. We're coming off a beta this month. It's been amazing. Just want to thank all of our clients that have helped us really flush that out and make sure that it's super cool. But Scott, what is your favorite thing about our new rent pay system where we take the money right from the tenant's bank account and put it right into our account.
Well, you kind of hit on one of them. I'm not sharing my bank account information anymore, which has never. I mean, nowadays that's the worst idea ever, right? But
right.
also never partial payments. So you might get that. You might get that tenant's like, hey, I'll give you $750 on the first, and I'll give the other $750 like maybe the 8th or 7th or
Right.
Yeah, I'm getting full payments directly paid into my account, right?
Because the system will not allow them to pay partials. It's full or nothing.
All or nothing, right? And then probably my favorite part is that late fee feature where I'm kind of a bleeding heart. I think most landlords are. We're good people. We're just trying to make a living off of some of our investments. And there's always that awkward of like, am I going to be the heavy-handed guy who's going, okay, I mean, I get it. No late fee.
I'll waive the $50 this time.
Yeah,
right.
But I'm not going to waive it, But as you said, you set a precedent where I'm waiving that fee 8 months out of the 12 months of the year because it's like, So I love those things. And really for me, it's I don't have to be the bad guy. I don't play that part very well. So not having to be the bad guy in the relationship, I love that factor.
Right. So if I called you as a tenant and I said, hey, I'm not going to be able to get you the rent until the 5th of this month. Can you waive that late fee? What do you say now?
Hey, I'm so sorry. It's in the system. I can't manipulate the system. It's the software. I can't do that. It's built in. So unfortunately, you're going to have to pay the late fee.
So this rent pay gives you an excuse not to be a bad guy and just says, hey, it is kind of in motion.
It's kind of a buffer, right, between me and the tenant.
It reminds me, we talk a lot about criteria, and when I have to deny someone, I say, oh, hey, look, it's the criteria. I'm the good guy. That's just, I got to stick to that. It's kind of same here where it kind of takes you away from it and says, hey, listen, this is a whole system. It automatic. I really don't have the ability to go manipulate it that way. It just kind of grows. So I'm sorry.
And I think we cover that up front, like we do with the criteria. Hey, you're entering into the rent pay system. These are the rules that it makes you play by.
Right. So personally, I have a tenant that's actually lived with me for 10 years and lives probably just a half a mile down the road. And rent went like this for years. Hey, ring, ring. Hey, do you have our rent this month? It's the 5th,
So you're chasing your rent.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, we've had it. I just slipped my mind. I just didn't think to get over there. I'm a half mile away, right?
Yeah.
I just think, okay, let me get over there. So I had to call her to remind her to take the check she claims she's already written out and bring it to me,
Yeah.
And so when I went to put her on rent pay, this new rent pay system last year, when we very first started, she was one of our betas, and she didn't want to go on it at first. I'm like, hey, listen, you need to. But now rent 5 days prior of the month says rent's due in 5 days, rent's due in 4 days, rent's due in 3 days. So I don't have to call and remind her anymore because the system is reminding her exactly where she's at. And then if she goes to the first, hey, rent's due today. Okay, rent was due yesterday. Late fees start tomorrow, $50 plus $10 a day. Scott, I haven't had to call her. I haven't had to call her once since I put her on this. And now she's getting her rent into the system on the 29th. So it made me wonder, I used to get it on the 5th. It wasn't because you didn't have it.
Yeah.
You just were so casual about our relationship that you just said, oh, I got to take the kids here. Oh, yeah, I was like not a priority, even though I don't think it was about money.
Yeah. She'd been conditioned to go ahead and pay you whenever it was convenient for her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, she's lived in there 10 years. I love this girl. I love their family. I just put new flooring in the house for them because they made all their payments through the COVID times.
Yeah.
And it was my thank you to them. And it raises my property value too. So, but really love these guys. And I don't really have a problem with them other than I wanted to make sure that it wouldn't become the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and them get far behind. But I just had to kind of rope that in. And so on other ones, like you said, I've given out my bank account number. You said I don't recommend doing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Unless it's a guy calling on the phone. Yeah, no, just kidding.
Well, there's so many systems out there right now that accept ACH that all I have to do is look up the bank routing number and I have your account number. I could go to town on you.
Yeah.
So that check number now becomes like your social security number. You do not want people to have that bank account number. Yep. It would be too easy for them to almost fraud online with all these ACH systems,
Which is why this system is so great because it doesn't share account information that way, and it really protects us, I think. So,
right. Now, the other thing I love about this is when I pull up my app and I look at it, I have all my payments in one section. So I can see who's coming up and who has just paid. And So I feel like instead of wondering 14 different, how am I doing this? Now I'm like, even if I forget, I just every once in a while pull up my Rent Perfect app, look at it, and like, okay, paid. Oh, this is coming up. This is coming in. And it helps me stay organized for getting all of those payments, So I need a little organization every once in a while.
Yeah. You don't want to have to run to the mailbox every afternoon to check to see if the check was actually in the mail or not.
Yeah. I'm surprised that, say 5 years ago, that I didn't miss any payments. And if I did, I wouldn't even know it, right? But it was that bad. I was, because I'm not a full-time landlord. Like if I'm a full-time landlord coming in today, I've got my software up in front of me, and but I'm not doing that. I'm running from job to job, dealing with clients, different companies, doing stuff. And so this is kind of my side work. And so anything that I can have that helps me manage, I love. And this is one of those systems that I love. So I'm going to convince everybody, you don't even have to use Rent Perfect to do your backgrounds. You can just use the Rent Pay system in Rent Perfect. It is 100% free to set up and to do. It's $10 a month for the credit card processor, but that gives you as many rentals as you have that goes into that same bank account. So that $10 a month is just a flat fee, and it doesn't even come to us. I wish I made the $10 a month. It goes to the credit card processor that's moving all the money around and making sure that everybody's protected and safe. And so I would pay $100 a month for it. I really would. Now, you get the rest of the Rent Perfect system for free. So even if you want to say in your mind, okay, Rent Perfect cost me $10 a month, that's cheap to have that whole platform with the criminal background checks, the leases, the applications, the rent pay, the rental insurance, move in. I mean, we can go on and on that list, but $10 a month is nothing compared to the peace of mind that I get when I use this Rent Pay.
Knowing where your money's at.
Exactly.
It is important.
That is why I am here. I try not to be too money. I have, I get other, things in my life that I enjoy being a landlord with. It's not just about the money, but if the money's not there, then you're not a landlord.
Yeah.
You can't afford to be.
You're just the federal government.
So.
No. Giving free housing away.
Well, thank you so much. Just one other thing to add to that is in this Rent Pay system that we've created and we track now, you can do a one-time move-in payment. You can do miscellaneous, say, HOA violation payments. It gives you really control of setting up a one-time or setting up what we call a schedule. And a lot of the tenants that we're seeing using it are just auto setting up these schedules. Just auto pay this on this date. Just auto pay it. They don't even want to think about it. Nobody wants to write checks anymore. No one wants to go to the bank, including me, right?
Right. Nobody
wants to deal with that. They want to set it and forget it, put all their payments on autopilot, and let it go. So let them do that, And here's maybe one of the coolest things that I love about this Rent Pay system, this new one that we've done. We've done Rent Pay for a while, but we've really done it right this time, because we had a vendor that really wouldn't work with us last time. We are now reporting people's payments to improve their credit. Okay. Now, landlords might say, well, I don't really want them to get good credit because I don't want them to go buy a house and I don't want them to leave me. Listen, there are plenty of renters out there. There are plenty of good people out there to fill up your property. Why not help that person who's really helping you by paying you rent all the time, Yeah. So if they pay through the Rent Pay system at Rent Perfect, they also get credit for it on the credit bureaus, and they get to raise their score, and I'm sure they will appreciate that, as a perk from you as a landlord offering that service to them. So if you want more information, go ahead and give us a call at Rent Perfect. Hit us up at www.rentperfect.com. Subscribe to our podcast. Scott, any parting thoughts?
None. Get Rent Pay. That's
Show me
Show me the money.
Jerry Maguire. Good movie. We'll have to go watch that again. And until next time, continue to Rent Perfect.